Can the Sharks end this road trip with a win against a desperate Wild team?
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do, just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And we continue to look at the Wild as the Sharks look to end this road trip with a victory. Our little 10-minute YouTube previews from the day of the game, We'll look at how these two teams match up, try to take a stab at the lines because both teams did not have morning skates today because the Wild back-to-back and the Sharks didn't have one either. So we'll kind of take a guess at the lines and then kind of the what to watch for / keys to the game for the San Jose Sharks today. So let's get started by looking at how these two teams match up. The Sharks are 1-5-2. The Minnesota Wild, a little disappointing, 3-5-1 to get this season started here. For the Sharks, they entered this game at a 2.88 goals for per game, 22nd in the NHL. They allow 4.63 goals for per game, 32nd in the NHL. Did go down a little bit there. The Sharks power play is at 23.3%, 13th in the NHL. And the PK is at 67.9%, 28th in the NHL. The Wild's offense, disappointing, I think it's fair to say, at 2.44, 30th in the NHL when it comes to goals for, 3.67 goals allowed, 28th. Their power play is clicking, though, at 30.6%, but the PK is struggling as well at 66.7%, 30th in the NHL. Celebrity leads the Sharks in goals, assists, and points with 5 goals, 7 assists, and 12 points. Caprizov and Boldy have matching numbers with 5 goals, 6 assists, and 11 points total. I gave Kaprizov the nod because he's Caprizov. So looking at this Wild team, it is been a struggle to start the season for them. They're one of the worst teams in the NHL when it comes to point percentage. They're dead last in the Central. They've struggled to score goals at 5-on-5. The power play, though, has been very good for them, so that's something to keep in mind. The defense has been bad, but the goaltending has been pretty solid, especially Jesper Wallstedt, who the Sharks should face today. For the Lions, Caprizov, Rossi, and Johansson up top. Yurov, Eriksson, Ek, and Boldy in the middle. Foligno, Hartman, and Tarasenko. The third line, Trennan, Jones, and Hinostroza. Then you have Brodin, Faber, Bouillon, Spurgeon, Middleton, Juracek as your defensive pairs with Wallstedt expected to start. For the Sharks, I expect Misa to draw back into this game, and I would expect the lines to be somewhat similar to what we've seen with just Misa coming in for Kurashev would be my guess. Defensively, we're going to have to see because we know Leddy's not playing. And then I expect Dickinson to come in. Maybe Klingberg is ready to go. We'll see what the Sharks kind of do there. So the defensive pairs it's going to be, I think, a little wait and see until game time for that. So with Nedeljkovic, I would expect to start as the Sharks continue to just rotate between the goalies here. So I think for the Sharks, what to watch for in this game is how each team starts, right? And the Wild are coming off a second night of a back-to-back. Both games at home here. So I kind of expect the Wild to get going a little bit early. So I think the first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be very crucial for the San Jose Sharks. Right, we saw it against the Devils. The Sharks got off to a good start at that second. When you're on the second night of a back-to-back, Like you typically can kind of get your legs going a little bit sooner. So I think a crisp start for the Sharks is prudent in this game, because this is a very desperate Wild team, a team that, Brock Faber said, like, we have to get 2 points today. We're better than this, et cetera, et cetera. Like, this is a team that is looking to come out and try to get 2 points for the Sharks. I think managing and navigating those first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be big. The second thing I think to watch for is how do you deal with the top line here with that Caprizov. This is a very top heavy team when it comes to scoring. Caprizov is off to a great start. Like I said, that this team has been getting a lot of point production from both him and from Matt Boldy. So how do you manage those two guys there, I think is going to be key, because I do think the Sharks have gotten more and better scoring depth, and especially from that third line. And we've seen the Misa, Graf, Gaudette line work really well. So if you can kind of mitigate the top line, right? Hopefully kind of go toe for toe for them, and then hope that your third line and your bottom six can provide more scoring than their bottom six. I think that's going to be your kind of key to success in this game. Because this team just, I know, talking to Seth, this team has struggled to get scoring from the bottom six, and the Sharks have actually been pretty solid, especially from that third line, in getting points in from that third line there. So, and then whose PK can show up? Both these power plays have been operating pretty efficiently so far to start the season. Both PKs have struggled to start the season. So, right, stay out of the box, of course, but whose PK can show up today in a big spot, I think is going to go a long, long way in this game. If the Sharks can limit the damage to this from this Wild's power play, which again, Caprizov and Boldy have been excellent to start the season, especially on the power play, I think the Sharks can steal this game. I do think the Sharks win this game. I think especially if you take out the second period against the Devils, right, and you can't have those just full-on collapses of offense. How do you kind of manage and navigate those situations where things aren't going well? But the Sharks have played really well on this road trip here, right? You look at the Islanders game where they outplayed them. The Rangers, where it was a very fun back and forth type of game. And the Devils, especially the first period and then the third period as well, they played with this Devils team. I think the Sharks can skate and play with this Wild team. And I think it's just going to come down to which team can kind of take advantage of their situations here. We know, unfortunately, the Sharks have kind of struggled in those key areas sometimes, but I think the Sharks end this game, end this road trip with a win. I think the Wild team, is very top heavy, and I think the Sharks' depth comes in key here. So give me a Michael Misa goal. I think Misa's been playing well, and I think he's overdue. He's had some opportunities here. I think he finally cashes in today, and I think the Sharks win this game 4-2. I think Nedeljkovic builds off of what Askarov did. I think Nedeljkovic plays well as well. And I think the Sharks win this game 4-2. So we'll have a full breakdown tonight after the game. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at MyFryHole. Until this afternoon. Bye, friends.